Photography World, a podcast for everyone passionate about landscape photography. I'm Grant Swinburne and I'll be your host on this show discussing the world of landscape photography. This time I'm talking to Tyson Waldron about his landscape photography journey. Tyson is a self-taught landscape photographer from country Victoria living in Melbourne. Working as a full-time tradesman and shooting when he's not at work, Tyson loves to explore Victoria to find the unshot compositions. We talk about how he got started and how where he grew up and lives has shaped his photography and the way he looks at the world. We also touch on NFTs, a topic that's known for controversy and is definitely moving at the speed of the internet. I hope you enjoy the show. Hi Tyson, welcome to the podcast. How you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, going well for a Friday.
That's it, mate. Lockdown Fridays.
Yeah. So thanks very much for coming on the podcast. I asked you on specifically because I really like a lot of what you do. You know, one of the reasons why I like what you do is that you got a very varied portfolio. You don't kind of just stick to astro. There's, you know, a bit of architectural, there's, you know, light trails, there's a bit of flow and ocean, there's forest scenes and waterfalls and so forth, which is a little bit kind of similar to what I kind of do. But, you know, so what is it that got you into landscape photography in the first place? How did you start?
I reckon it was years ago when I was traveling around Europe. I came home and I had that holiday, you know, that holiday feeling. I was like, I don't want this to end. And it was like on the weekends, I was like, oh, what can I do? What can I do to get out? And I only just recently moved down to Melbourne from country Vic. And I was like, oh, I'll start traveling around, you know, start seeing some of the sites we got around. And I bought a cheap camera, and it was expensive to me at the time. Bought a cheap camera. That's it, you know, it was like just a point and shoot. And I was like, oh, this is precious. But kind of grew from there, and I was like, oh, these beaches, that beach, like I didn't believe these places existed in Victoria. I was shocked. I was like, oh wow. Like before you take photos, you don't really look at your surroundings, you know, you kind of
just sort of go there, go for a swim, towel off and get the car and go home.
Yeah, that's it, you know, you just like, oh, yeah, whatever. But and then Instagram came along not long after that, and I just started putting a few up here and there, but kind of just grew from there really.
Yeah. So when you say, you know, Instagram sort of came along, you started posting stuff on. Obviously, you started looking around. Who sort of started to influence how you started to shoot and edit?
I reckon it was Chungy's photos. I saw a few of those and I was like, that can't be real. I was like, no way.
And
then it grew from there.
Like,
oh mate, they're unreal. Like I don't understand. I'm like, I want to get there one day, you know. But
the ones I really like are his all-nighters where he does a dusk till dawn, you know, he's got the Milky Way, got sunset and sunrise all in the same shot.
I've tried to emulate those.
How the hell do you do that? It
just doesn't happen. I'm like, how are you doing that? But no, I kind of grew from that, man. It's just taken off. It's taken over my life now, so
yeah.
I'm not complaining.
Hey, you're not doing it full time though, are you?
No, I'm a tradie during the day, just a joiner, installer. So that takes up most of my time, 5 a.m. till 5 p.m. So
yeah, no, I know what you mean there. What sort of things, you know, I guess motivated you? Was it just seeing some of those amazing shots from people like Chungy that went, okay, how do they do that? And that's where I want to, you know, create something like that, or was it just
pretty much like I've always had my finger in technology, you know, either like gaming or computers or this or that. But I started taking photos and I was like, oh, you can edit them. You can kind of change this. You can make it look like that. And I think that part hooked me more than anything, where I could make something that I wanted to make it look like, you know, I could control the image to how I wanted to see it. But it's changed over the years, definitely. But I reckon that's what got me hooked.
Yeah, no, I get you. So when you know, when was the last time you were out shooting, and where did you go?
Last time, I reckon I went down to I've been working in the Mornington Peninsula lately, so I've been pretty lucky. And I was just found a few spots on Google Maps. I was like, oh, I want to check out that coastline a bit closer, and just went down after work one day, like overcast day, and the sky opened up, and I had some crazy light, good atmosphere. Like it just turned crazy. Like couldn't plan any better. So I was pretty lucky there. But
don't you love it when that happens?
oh mate, I wasn't even planning for it. It's like a scouting trip, and I couldn't be happier. So
nice.
No, that's probably about it. Probably 2 months ago now, I reckon. 6 weeks ago.
Okay. So how do you think where you live influences how you shoot?
It has a huge impact. Like I'm only 45 minutes away from some of the best coastlines here in Victoria, so it's pretty much a no-brainer. I'm always checking the weather, checking the tides, so things are lining up. I'm pretty much in the car, getting down there, dragging the girlfriend with me.
Nice.
Going to the same spot 10 places to get that shot.
Well, it's nice that she comes with you. When you go with her, what does she get up to? She just sit there and say, "Come on, Tyson, time to go," or she's
pretty good. She's pretty good. At the start, she's like, "Well, we keep going back to the same places." And I'm like, no, "Wait."
The light's not quite right.
Yeah, I'm like, no, the light's got to be there. There's got to be a cloud there, But no, she's good with it now. She'll just do her own thing or take a few photos of her own. But that's what we do on the weekends now,
No, definitely good if you got. I mean, I shoot a bit on my own, but when I can, I take the wife with me.
Yeah.
I mean, she loves coming hiking with us, particularly if we go hunting waterfalls. And just before the lockdown, I was actually starting a series of sort of all the Illawarra coast, around Macquarie Pass and Minamurra Falls and all those around the Illawarra. And I was planning on doing all of the falls down there, sort of all the way down to, about, Kiama. But, lockdown started, so I've kind of put that on hold. But, it was great because, she loves getting out and about with us, and, she'll, as I jokingly say, someone else to carry some of the camera gear too. But
that's the thing too. It's good when you got someone out there who likes it as well.
But that's the thing. If she doesn't share the passion for photography so much, but she kind of gets it, and she understands why it's important to me. And I think, that's the important thing. If you got a relationship where there's a bit of give and take, and you're considerate of each other's needs, then you can get a really good partnership going, and
that's it.
Get her to carry some of the gear.
I know what you're saying there.
Yeah. So what would you say you're trying to communicate with your photography, or are you just taking shots of things you think look good?
It started off like that, but now, like with social media, obviously you're just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. I want something you kind of scroll across and you go, "Oh wow, what's that?"
Oh, look at that again. Yeah,
it's bright, it's in your face, it's sharp, it's kind of coming at you a little bit, So always try add that.
You're succeeding in that.
That's all right. That's the aim anyway. But try add that field of depth into it. It kind of draws you in, and you're like, "Oh wow, check out like the layers, like the depth through that." But that's the main goal, I think. But not really to sell prints or anything like that. So
So do you print much at all, or?
I have been lately. Like I've been enjoying printing my own work, and you take a different view on it once you print it.
Oh, absolutely.
Once you see it in the light, like, and all the different papers, so your dark images on mats and your glosses, and I could, if I had a heap of money, I'd be printing everything. But
well, I've been lucky. I've sold a couple of nice big acrylics.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which just when you see them come out of the print shop, it's just you just fall in love. For me, I can sort of see myself at that spot, thinking what I was thinking at that time. When you see it in the right size, because these things are sort of like 1.5 meters by a meter, tall.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Massive big print, and you know, when you're doing that, the one thing you got to be careful of, obviously, is making sure that you got to, you know, depending on the style of shot it is, you know, you got all the detail. You know, I got one actually on my wall that I printed myself.
Yeah.
Because I really love it. And it was up at Summersby Falls.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's just got so much depth in it because it was taken down the bottom. It's got these whirlpools. I did another edit and posted it not that long ago, actually.
Yeah.
But it's got these whirlpools down in the pool at the bottom, and you can see the falls, the lower falls sort of off in the distance. But in amongst that, all the rock ledges have got all these ferns and moss and everything on it. And, you know,
oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, even up close, you get into it and you can just sort of fall into the image.
It's the details, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just all these details there. It's just
sucks you into it. Yeah.
Yeah, just magic to look at. I love it.
It's like a Where's Waldo image, you know. You kind of can't stop looking at
it. I mean, it's up in our living room, and every time I would sort of walk past it, you know, I keep finding something new, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you print, what sort of things are you printing for yourself? You know, are you doing books or just sort of, you know, things to stick on the wall?
Just made just a portfolio for myself, you know, just kind of to look back over the years, check progress. Because it's one thing to edit on a screen, and once you take that backlight out of an image, you view it completely different. So
yeah,
kind of, I wouldn't mind hanging a few up. I've printed heaps off now, but I've barely hung any. So, but yeah, that's the goal one day, I think. You know.
Yeah. Now I've just ordered a new one. I was having a chat with the wife. It's a big pano shot of Camel Rock. And,
yeah,
I'm just waiting on it to be delivered. So I think that's going to look pretty good up above the bed head. So that's
that spot. Yeah, I love that spot.
But no, it's going to. I think that they really pop. You know, when you get them printed, particularly when you print them up big. You know,
that's it.
So when you're doing printing, you know, you mentioned, you know, that losing that backlight because you haven't got the screen. So what sort of things are you doing to prep your image? You know, other than, you know, you brighten it obviously, but, you know, you're doing any particular sharpening or any particular processing that you would do different I mean, obviously Instagram, you know, you can chuck noisy as images up, but you know,
you can. Yeah, it's so small, you can get away with a lot of gear on there. But yeah, print's a whole new game. I'm still trying to figure it out, trying to figure out what the best settings are, like sharpen for print, sharpen for screen kind of things. Doing a high pass before you send it off, you know. But even the papers reflect differently. So if you print from a pearl to a semi-matte, you know, it's kind of But I really like the black and whites at the moment. Like once you take that white light from the screen out and you get such a flat image, I don't know, it really sets them off. So
I'm
a bit stuck on the black and whites.
Yeah, you get a black and white on some beautiful art paper, and it's just stunning. You know, The other thing I've found with print is that it's actually quite forgiving on your highlights, a little less so on your blacks. But because even if you've blown your highlight, the only thing you're going to see pretty much is the paper.
You know? And that's it, yeah. But your blacks, they do add a lot of contrast to your photos. So I think that's probably the hardest bit to tackle is getting your screen calibrated to the print. So
yeah, totally. Yeah, I know some people, they get right into the tech of it, you know, and I think an important part of it is really talking to the guys that are doing the printing and finding out what they need to get the best out of it, you know. So
yeah.
I've got a bunch of guys that I use. You know, there's actually two places that I go to, and it depends on what I'm doing. If I'm doing acrylics, I'll go to one, but if I'm doing like an art paper, I'll go to a different mob, simply because I've seen the results from both in both sort of mediums, and you know, I've just got a preference, you know. But the important thing is communicating with them and telling them what you're trying to do, and what you want, and you know, talking to them about what their processes are and what they're gonna what they're going to do and what they're not going to do as well. Because
Yeah,
I mean,
that's exactly right.
a lot of these print places, you chuck your image up online and push a button and pay for it. And
That's it. Then that's it. Like they don't care.
Yeah.
They hope for the best.
Comes back and you kind of go, yeah, it's not really what I was looking for.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're saying there.
How did you sort of look to put in the hard yards to understand the processing and shooting, workflows that you kind of needed to get the results you were looking for?
It's kind of, I don't know, it's just how I've tackled everything in life, really. It's kind of just put all your eggs in one basket and go for it. Don't take shortcuts. Just learn why, how, when, kind of just understand what you're trying to do and get the most out of it.
Yeah.
But it did take a while at the start. Like, it was way over my head. I was looking at colors and shades and contrast and tonal curves, and I was like, what is this? But
yeah, the first time you open Photoshop, it's a bit of a beast.
Yeah.
What?
You're just like, what is this?
what do any of these things do? And then you find out that there's 25 different ways of doing exactly the same thing.
Oh, and that's it. And then it digs you in a deeper hole, and you're like, oh, where am I now? But
so which one works best? Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
So lots of YouTube, lots of playing about.
Pretty much, yeah. Heaps of YouTube, just flat out YouTube. And I bought a few tutorials from that's how I learned to use Photoshop. I used Creative Live. They got online tutorials.
Yeah.
So I got a few of those just to learn how to use Photoshop. Like, when I first opened up Photoshop, I was like, what is this? What are all these buttons? But once you know, you only need a few tools out of it and you're pretty much set.
Yeah.
And then I kind of just built from there, like a few tutorials here, pick what I like best and just put it in my workflow and voila. But I don't think I edit one image the same every time. Like, every image is a complete different workflow, I think.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
So it's just a bit of madness, really. I know what I want and I'll just work on it for 10 hours if I have to. But
yeah. And then if you don't know how to do something, you'll look it up and off you go. Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like, I want some more contrast here or there, but pretty much just luminosity masks now is the way to go for me. So
yeah, so you do a lot of bracket shooting and blending through masking and that's
pretty much.
Yeah.
Everything I shoot everything's focus stacked. So I like to shoot everything manual. So I just find you have more control. Foreground, tree to the left, horizon, the sky, just a few things like that. And then I like to just blend it manually in Photoshop. So I'll be like, I remember when I was there was that bush, I'll brush that in, then that rock there. And sometimes I might have 12 different frames.
Yeah. Wow.
But it all comes together in the end. So yeah, sometimes my files are like 2 or 3 gig big,
Wow.
You're just jamming up on me. But
must have a beast of a machine then.
It's getting there. It's taking its toll now.
Yeah, well, I had to upgrade. I remember it was a few years ago now, but I had to upgrade because I was really stretching the 16 gig memory that I had in the machine.
Oh, pushing the limits.
And it was grinding and aching with some of the shots that I was editing, and it was kind of like, it's time to up the memory. So I just bought another. Chucked out the 16 gig chips and bought 32 gig, and since then it's been pretty smooth. But
makes it a bit more enjoyable too.
Oh yeah, just sitting there waiting for a process, and I'll just go and make a cuppa while that happens.
You're watching the swirly bar.
Yeah. Try to avoid that now, but it's a little bit quicker for some stuff. There's still some stuff that it just sits there and it just takes an age.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah, it just depends on what you're doing. So you said you sort of came from country Victoria. Were you shooting when you were living there, or?
Nah, not really. Like, didn't really do much back there. There wasn't much to do. Like, once I got a job, finished my apprenticeship, I was kind of like, oh, what's next? So a few mates moved down to Melbourne. I followed them down and then kind of found beaches, waterfalls, forests. Like, we didn't have any of that back up there. So kind of just blew me away. I was like, oh, we have all this here. Like,
and it's all on your doorstep.
Yeah, and that's it. We're pretty lucky here in Victoria, so
Oh, definitely. I mean,
we've got a lot of landscapes.
I quite like some of the country Victorian locations, Grampians and Mount
Yeah,
Massive. There's some fantastic spots. Gippsland. There's heaps of places up
Gippsland,
there, and
yeah.
then you got the high country. Up around Omeo and all those sorts of places.
That's it, yeah, all the alpines up there,
Fabulous,
yeah, it's unreal.
fabulous scenery up there, and then from there you got all the snowfields and everything. Which,
That's it, yeah. I'm just spewing this year. We're stuck indoors, can't get out
yeah.
amongst it.
So how do you think sort of growing up in country Victoria impacted on how you think about the shooting? You said I've got all this stuff on my doorstep. Was that really it, or were you sort of starting to think, going, I'll just try some stuff and see what happens?
That was pretty much it. It was just like trying a few things, and it was never back home. There wasn't much to look at. It's just paddocks. It's just dry. It's dead forever. So, but now I love it for Astro. I can't wait to go back and see mum and dad to get the camera out and shoot the dark skies. But it didn't have so much of an impact. I don't think. Like, it was more just when I moved down here and I was submersed in the landscape. So it just kind of grew from nothing really.
Yeah.
Social media, I guess, had a big influence too.
Yeah, no, definitely. You put a lot of emphasis, as you said, on getting that impactful image. I guess.
Yeah.
What's your process for doing that in the field look like? When you set up.
The setup, I reckon, just clarity throughout the image. It really grabs your eye, I think.
Yeah.
And then I always put a small amount of I dehaze it a little bit, take the sharpness down just a fraction, just to make it a smooth looking image, but still really sharp.
Yeah, got it.
So I reckon if you can focus stack the whole way through, you're laughing. But if you've got a drone or something like that, it's more of a struggle. You you're doing a lot of filtered clarity sliders and you're putting dials here and there. But
fair enough.
Challenge that way.
Do you do a lot of drone work or?
Not so much. You're kind of limited to where you can fly them now. So
yeah, well, that's true. Yeah,
everywhere, but
they put a lot of restrictions on it.
Yeah, so no, it is hard to get the drone out. Like I see a few things and I'm like, oh, I should get it out, but I'd love to get it out on the Great Ocean Road.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I think I've seen a couple of shots from a drone where they've sort of taken it into spots, obviously, where you could only get with a helicopter or whatever. But I've seen a couple from sort of down below the cliff level, looking back, into Lockhart Gorge, for example.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah. It just looks magic, But,
yeah, that area.
I guess it just depends on where you can get it and where you can make sure that you're not getting in someone else's.
No, that's it. Yeah.
So what's the furthest you've ever travelled for a shot?
Oh, I'd probably have to say Great Ocean Road is probably about 4.5 hours from me here.
Yeah, so that's just for the one.
Some mornings. Yeah, some mornings
I've 4.5 hours taking a photo and come home.
How's it good? I'm in the car, I'm out the door, but yeah, I've pulled all-nighters, I've chucked days off work, I've see the snow, I'm like, nah, I'm having a sickie. A few things like that. But yeah, I reckon Great Ocean Road's probably the furthest for me. 4.5.
Yeah, no, that's a fair old trek. So how much would you say, obviously the last couple of years has been a bit stupid for travel, but, how far would you say you travel each year for photography?
I reckon I'd put a good 10 to 15,000 Ks.
Yeah.
I reckon. It's pretty much every weekend I'm out, every weekend, every RDO. And then there's a few little trips within the year. We go up the Sapphire Coast each year and
a
few little things like that. So yeah, I love it out there.
Yeah.
I'd move there if I could.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody in another episode actually, and they're threatening to drive their camper van and park it on Davy Rogers' lawn and live there.
Oh,
It's a stunning part of the country, that the Sapphire Coast. If I could, if I could earn the kind of money I earn up here in Sydney down there, I'd be doing it in the shot. Mind you,
I'd be with you, I think.
I've been working from home now for over 18 months. I could probably swing it if I could get out of Sydney.
Might be on the cards then.
Yeah, could be. I don't know. Mind you, there's a lot of other places I'd love to live too. That's the common spot for choice.
No, that's it.
Yeah. So what's the most notable experience you've had while taking photos?
I reckon it was back in Yosemite a few years back when we could travel.
Yeah.
I was staying in Yosemite Valley, and we got up early one morning for sunrise, and just went up to Tunnel View Lookout there.
Nice.
We drove all night through the dark from Vegas, and we didn't see our surroundings at all till we woke up in the morning. We got up the top there, and just as the sun rose, the valley was full of fog, and like just the sheer size of the cliffs there. It was actually unreal. It was probably the best I've seen to date, I reckon.
Yeah.
Just the way the fog was moving, the light came over Half Dome. Yeah, it's unreal.
Fantastic. What about horror stories?
Ooh, got a few of those. Well, not long after the US trip, a house got broken into, and they pretty much cleaned out the house technology-wise. Computer, camera, hard drives, like everything. So pretty much lost the entire US trip, which is a bit sad. No. But and then the usual horror stories like cameras getting wet, crashing drones into trees, and it's not a cheap hobby.
No, definitely not. Definitely not a cheap hobby. So what do you think you've learned about the world through photography?
I reckon it's taught me just to slow down a bit, kick back, relax, take it all in.
Yeah.
Just live in the moment.
Yeah.
Don't be rushed.
Take it easy.
Yeah.
Have you ever, sort of got to a creative rut or hit a creative wall? And, if you did, how did you handle that?
Yeah, all the time, I reckon, especially through COVID, you can't get out to shoot. You can't really do anything but edit. So it's kind of, you can scroll socials all day, but you don't really get much out of it in the end. But
yeah,
I reckon vloggers on YouTube, it's probably my go-to.
Yeah, okay.
Well, a few guys like Nick Page and Photo Tripper, just their adventures and watching how they shoot, their techniques, what they're thinking. Like, that gets me pretty keen to get back out there, so.
Yeah. I watch a fair bit of those guys, and I got to say I'm getting a bit frustrated at the moment because I do look at their stuff, and I think Nick Page and Shane Bloom have been wandering around Arizona taking lightning shots.
Oh mate, those storms,
and it's just like, I've got to get out.
makes me cry inside. I'm like, oh no.
So I'm just sort of sitting there going, I'd love to be out there. I'd love to be anywhere where I can shoot. I live in suburbia, and I know some people that do that sort of photography. And I know people that do that sort of intimate flowers and tree bark and all that sort of thing.
Yeah,
some of them look fantastic, and I admire them for doing it, but I just can't see myself getting into the.
Nah, I'm the same there, I think.
I much prefer that grand vista sort of thing rather than there's close-up shots which are good, but I much prefer the big bold shot, I guess.
Proper scene, bit of action.
Yeah. So what are your plans when we do get out of lockdown? Where are you going to go? What's the first destination?
First destination? I'm not even sure, actually. My phone's full at the moment. I've got lists here and there, different conditions to try out. It's just growing and growing at the moment, but I reckon I'll probably head back down the Great Ocean Road. I found a few good comps here I want to try out at sunrise. A few good, missed Milky Way season this year, but they'll be on the agenda for next year, I guess. But
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Probably back down there, I reckon.
Yeah. How about
even
internationally? Where you got any international plans, or are you just sort of gonna stay local for a while?
probably stay local for a bit till COVID cools down,
Yeah,
because nothing worse than going overseas and you get stuck there for a few months or
yeah,
something like that. But definitely Iceland, the Faroes. That's got to be, that's a bucket list item for sure.
yeah. They're both sort of pretty close to top of my overseas list at the moment.
Yeah,
And I'm kind of I think I've got the wife on side with doing that. She wants to go over and see her parents. She's from the UK.
all right.
And so from there, it's not too big a jump to get over to Iceland or to the Faroes. I wouldn't mind doing
Yeah,
Shetlands either. There's some fantastic spots up there, very similar sort of scenery to the
yeah,
Faroes as well. So yeah, it's a bit of a toss up as to which one I end up doing when we can travel, but. I
yeah.
know
That's
the
it.
UK's number one destination because she hasn't seen her family over there now for oh since somewhere in 1999. Sorry, 2019.
All
Uh,
right.
yeah, so that'll be the top of the list. But
That'd be, yeah,
yeah, I mean there's some lovely places in the UK too. I really love shooting around there. Some of the country scenery and some of the coastal scenery around there is pretty good.
yeah, yeah. Some of the cliff sides they got there are unreal as well. Like,
Yeah,
remind me a lot of the Great Ocean Road here. So
yeah. There's some good.
even Scotland, like
Ah,
the rock
yeah,
formations there, the castles. I don't know.
yeah,
It's endless.
yeah. Oh, I mean, it's a big long list, and
Yeah.
picking which one next is always the hard part.
That's the hardest bit, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. So, you're obviously into social media and whatever, and I see you around Instagram a fair bit, but you're also
Yeah.
on Twitter, and I notice you've started to dip your toe in the NFT space. So, do you want to tell us a bit about your experience there and why and
Yeah.
what
Just
you
thought
know
I'd try
about
it.
it?
Yeah. I don't know a great deal about it. I know enough, I think, but it's kind of a bit of a confusing scene. But
Yeah, it
yeah,
keeps changing too, from what I can tell.
that's it. Yeah. I'll leave it for a week and I'm back to square one, But no, it seems to be really going off at the moment. There's a lot of buzz around it. So
Yeah,
thought, yeah, early bird gets the worm kind of thing, jump in and see what happens. But
yeah. I've noticed quite a few big name, like Shane Bloom and that they're starting to get into it because
yeah,
the landscape photography sort of market in particular seems to have started to blow up in NFTs. So I guess for those that are listening that don't know what we're talking about, what is an NFT?
a non-fungible token. You pretty much own the rights to your image, but you
So
don't actually own the image. It's
yeah,
hard. It's a hard concept to grab.
that's it. It's kind of you own the digital rights to that particular thing.
Pretty
Um,
much, it's a store of value. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. And then you can resell it, or you can print from it. You can pretty much, you can delete it, I guess, or can you? I don't know.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, and then the good thing is though, there are royalties on there for the artist. So
Yeah,
every time it gets sold in the future,
yeah, and I think that's the interesting part of the market is that if you make your primary sale and that's where you get the bulk of your cryptocurrency, but
yeah,
um, you know when depending on which way you sell it, if you and where you sell it, what platform you use, you can actually pick up royalties for every time it gets passed on in secondary and tertiary sales as well.
that's it. I like that idea. Like, feeds you down the line.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's some people making good coin out of it, but I guess there's also a lot of people that are sort of trying to jump on the bandwagon and not sure. But have you looked into any of the things, there's a lot of people criticising it for the greenhouse emissions and all that sort of thing. Have you looked into that in any way, shape, or form?
Only slightly. Like it happened to Bitcoin a while ago too, where they were saying, "Oh, it's not renewable. It's this, it's that. It's chewing up all the energy." Like, so I'm not too sure what to really believe in that scene. Like, I haven't really dug deep enough into it to have an opinion, really, but a bit confusing.
Have you made any sales yet, or?
Nah, not yet. Nah, not that lucky.
Yeah, so
fingers crossed there.
Still out there, just hanging the shingle out and hoping somebody.
That's it. Yeah. I'll forget to promote them a lot now, so I should get back on it.
Yeah, from what I understand, particularly, it seems to be more specifically in places like Clubhouse or Twitter. Or what's Discord.
Discord, yeah, that's the other big one.
Seems to be if you get your name known in some of those chat things like Twitter Spaces or Clubhouse or Discord, then you start to gain a bit of attention and get a bit of attraction. And some people sort of will help you promote it too if you ask them nicely. But
yeah. I don't think I'm active enough on the socials at the minute to be getting the most Twitter, I think.
I'm kind of tied up with this at the moment too to be bothered,
that's it. Yeah,
doing my work as well. But the interesting thing I've started to see is these things called smart contracts, where you can actually sell fractions of the rights. So you can have a single digital entity, right? Whether it's a image or a GIF file or a video, or whatever it is, whatever the object is, the digital object. But attached to that is this what's called a smart contract, and so you can actually have multiple owners.
Oh, right.
So the whole thing might be worth 1 ETH. And you can buy in at 0.5 of an ETH, and if it sells then for 2 ETH, then you get that fraction, the proportional fraction of that sale plus any royalties down
plus,
the track.
Right.
So it's just makes it apparently more affordable for people that don't have.
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Big crypto wallets,
No. That's
which I certainly don't. I mean, I know a few people have dived right into it, and it is interesting talking to them and trying to understand it and keep up with it, because it just moves at such a pace at the moment. It's unbelievable.
That's it. Yeah, it's hard keeping up with what's actually going on.
Yeah, I know. There's been a big thing about doing some collections and so forth. I don't know if you looked into doing one of those at all, or you.
No, not really. I'm a bit out of it for that, I think. So
yeah, fair enough. No worries. So with your socials, I guess that's where you concentrate most of the effort. What do you see as the future there for things like Instagram? With their recent announcements, you think it's still going to be a platform for photographers or not?
I hope it stays, because I reckon they'll lose a lot of users if they just switch to video. Like, TikTok's already a thing, so people are going to use TikTok regardless. But we need something.
You see a lot of people just creating the TikTok and then transferring it to a reel in Instagram anyway, and it's kind of like, well, you've already got it, so I don't know.
I think it's like their base of followers on Instagram. That's kind of like the bulk. That's the home. They just kind of share it around. But I'd like to see it still be for photographers. Like, Twitter's good, but it's not as good as Instagram. A bit more engagement, I think. People are more willing. People are more open there. So seems to be the spot to be.
Yeah, it's same here. And it's kind of hard to know whether or not you should jump. I mean, I've been on a few platforms, 500px, and before that. You remember DeviantArt? I don't know if you ever saw that. That was a thing for a while, They all sort of seem to go in fads and phases, and
you're not wrong there. Yeah,
and popularity. I mean, Instagram has probably hung on for the longest that I've sort of seen in terms of photography. But,
yeah.
But I mean, one of the problems I've always sort of faced with it being a landscape photographer is dealing with the 5x4 crop.
That's the thing. That's where I think you lose a lot of your image too. When you can't blow it up, you can't see the details. Like
that's it.
The amount
and
of
I
work
get a lot of people watching, look at it on phones and whatever, and they hold their phones in that way. But I guess I'm an old fart that is used to the old print days, and taking physical photos on film and whatever, and trying to keep up with where social media is at any one particular time can be a bit confusing sometimes. So, I guess who are the particular photographers that are catching your eye at the moment? Is there anyone that you're sort of following that you go, wow, I'd love to be able to do that, or wow, I really love what they're doing?
I'm always going to say Chungy, I think, because that's unreal. It just blows me away. But Nick Page, he's always putting out some quality photos, one after one, and his video making skills too, like his filmmaking skills are getting up there. So even Thomas Heaton, he's pretty good to watch.
I watch quite a few of them, and I really like the way that he sort of he's just consistent, and even when I saw one a while ago where he did a bike ride in Norfolk, which is near where he lives, and I think
I saw that one.
10 boring miles, and
10 photos in 10 miles.
Yeah, he was trying to take 10 photos in 10 miles in the most, according to him, the most boring countryside he's ever seen. But I mean, I just love the way that he sort of takes that creativity and positivity into what he does.
It doesn't feel like he's pushing content either. He's just doing his own pace, just having a good time, So
that's it.
He's really good to watch, I reckon.
So what are 4 things that you can't live without?
4 things. Ooh. I'd have to say
air and water and food.
Water and food. Oh, that's a tricky one. I'll put my phone on there. Need my phone. Need my car. I'll put a camera in there as well.
Yeah, I can't live without my camera. I can't live without a tripod either.
And then I'll put my computer in there to edit the photos from the camera.
Yeah, fair enough. No, that's fair enough.
That'll work.
So what's the thing you like most about being a photographer?
Just getting out and about, I think. I really enjoy just getting out, walking around, even if it's not a good photo or I'm just scouting a new location. It's checking out the area, going for a walk, bit of fitness.
Yeah.
Seeing new places, I think. Just exploring, really.
So where do you most like to explore?
I'd have to say the forest at the moment, probably up in the high country in Victoria.
Yep.
Donabuwang's awesome, Warburton's awesome, like the ferns there, it's so dense.
Yeah.
So many compositions, the twisted trees, like it's just hard to find some decent light to shoot in where you can kind of split up a scene there because it's always so busy, like the leaves, the sticks, but you do every now and then you get a section of good light and a good subject to shoot. So
the fog's always good in a forest scene if you get it, but you don't always get it.
It helps really split a scene,
Yeah, it really is a challenging sort of place to shoot. I think in the forests, it's it's always you always find something, but as you say, it's hard to sort of split the scene up, and you got to work. I think you got to work harder in a forest scene than anywhere else.
I think that's what I like more. You're kind of going for a challenge. You know what you want, and you know what you want to get out of it, and it's trying to capture it on site, but not all the time the weather wants to work with you either.
No, that's exactly it. I mean, it's not so bad if you got a nice waterfall or whatever, but if you're just trying to get trees and ferns and that, that sort of filtered light and everything, as you say, the weather doesn't always cooperate.
That's it. I've been to some places 15 or 20 times, and just got nothing. So
Yeah,
I'll just keep doing that, I think.
yeah, no, fair enough.
Works one day.
What would you tell your 10-year-old self?
Ooh, don't be a goose. Don't overthink life. Just take it as it is.
That's great advice.
Relax a little.
Yeah.
Don't overthink, But I don't know, really. I don't think I would have listened when I was 10.
No, that's the problem. You never do when you're 10. Go away, old man.
Yeah, like, what are you talking about, mate?
That's right. Pardon me. Yeah, no, that's the problem. You don't listen when you're 10, and when someone gives you advice, it's like, why are you flapping your gums?
Yeah, what are you talking about, mate? I know better.
That's it. So, what would you tell somebody then that's just starting out in landscape photography? What sort of tips would you give them?
I reckon just learn your equipment. Work with what you have. Shoot as many photos in as many conditions as you can. I reckon that's what's helped me most over the years. Just learning what light works best, what ISO, shutter speeds. Like, you get a bit of movement in the bush, quicker shutter speed, or even different apertures. So shoot everything anytime. There's never a bad time.
Yeah. Really, so learn manual. Yeah.
Yeah, learn manual. Yeah, just do it. Push yourself till you do it. Pretty much how I did it.
You can do it now in digital. I learned back with film days, and you make a mistake there.
By the expensive way.
Yeah. But the thing is, it made you learn quick because you couldn't afford to make too many mistakes.
That's it. Yeah.
And also there was no such thing. I mean, I've still got my first SLR over my shoulder there on the shelf behind me. And there is no autofocus. It is all manual focus. So
that's it.
Yeah. And there isn't even a little beep that'll tell you when it's in focus. It's a little
or a histogram or anything.
Got the little split diaphragm sort of thing in the middle. And when it's in focus, you'll know. But no, film definitely taught me how to shoot manually. I mean, you didn't have to worry too much about ISO because it was whatever the film was.
That's it.
Most of the time, well, it depends on what I was shooting at the time, but most of the time it'd be 200, 400. Around that mark. Occasionally you'd splash out and get some 800 if you were doing some night stuff, or 1,000. You couldn't get much more than that though.
That's about it.
Yeah, but it was as I say, definitely taught you how to do things manually.
Yeah.
So what do you like to do when you're not out shooting?
I'm pretty much into my fitness. If I'm not at work or I'm not shooting, I'm in the gym or running or riding the bike. So got to keep busy, I got to answer my pants, but
it's not.
No, that's the number one.
No, nothing like staying fit, because if you want to have a long life in photography, the fitter you are, the better. You can also get to places that some people can't get to if you're
that's it. Just climb up some hills and climb some trees,
No, that's it. All right. I've only got one more question for you, and it's probably the most important one. That is pineapple on pizza.
Ooh, I'd say probably no, but if it's free, yes.
Free? All right. Well, there are dessert pizzas.
I'll take it.
Fair enough. Okay. All right, mate. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down and have a chat, Tyson.
That's fine.
Absolutely love catching up with you, and it's really, really good to talk to a guy that has learned himself, knows his craft, and really does a good job. Where can people find what you do?
You're best off looking on Instagram at Tyson Waldron _photography, or I do have a new website, tysonwaldron.com.
Cool. Okay. All right. Thanks, Tyson.
I appreciate it, mate.
No, anytime. And, hopefully once we get out of lockdown, we can organise a shoot together somewhere.
That's it. I'll be heading up to get those rock pools, I think.
Definitely. All right, mate. Thanks very much. And thanks, everyone, for listening to Landscape Photography World. I hope you enjoyed the show. Keep listening because there's some great guests coming up in the next few episodes. You can find my work in this podcast at grantswinburnphotography.com. I'm also on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. I'm Grant Swinburne, and I hope to see you out shooting soon.